Matters to do with shared parenting agreements, child custody and child maintenance costs are guided by the below brief, but keen legal framework. When a couple's marriage has ended in divorce, child custody is a highly charged topic. Kid custody disputes occur when parents cannot come to an agreement about which parent will have primary residential responsibility for the child. Child support and medical care for the child (REN) in question are often raised in the context of custody disputes. Nature of child custody. A person may have legal or actual custody of a child or both. Legal custody means the right to possess a child conferred by a custody order awarded by the court. Actual or physical custody refers to the actual possession of a child, whether or not actual possession of the child is shared with other people. Considerations for the court in making custody orders. 1. Best interests of the child. 2. Age of the child. 3. Wishes of the child. 4. Wishes of the parents of the child. 5. Issuance of other court orders relating to the child, e.g. a care or residence order already made with respect to the child. 6. Fitness of the parents. 7. Wishes and needs of siblings of the child. Section 83 of Children Act stipulates the principles to be applied in making a custody order as follows. 83. 1. In determining whether or not a custody order should be made in favor of the applicant, the court shall have regard to a. The conduct and wishes of the parent or guardian of the child. b. The ascertainable wishes of the relatives of the child. c. The ascertainable wishes of any foster parent, or any person who has had actual custody of the child and under whom the child has made his home in the last 3 years preceding the application. d. The ascertainable wishes of the child. e. Whether the child has suffered any harm or is likely to suffer any harm if the order is not made. f. The customs of the community to which the child belongs. g. The religious persuasion of the child. h. Whether a care order, or a supervision order, or a personal protection order, or an exclusion order has been made in relation to the child concerned and whether those orders remain in force. I. The circumstances of any sibling of the child concerned, and of any other children of the home, if any. j. The best interest of the child. When deciding custody, what factors does the judge consider? The judge must examine the age, bodily, and mental health of the kid and each parent, the connection between the child and each parent's involvement in the child's life when determining what is in the best interest of the child. If the court is trying to do anything, what is it? Without exception, Kenyan judges advise divorcing parents to work together to establish a child custody and visitation arrangement that serves the best interests of the family's children. The court will typically require an orientation to mediation to help parents understand the process. With the aid of a mediator, parents may go through their alternatives, and then present that plan to their attorney and the judge deciding custody. Court allows men to have custody of children below 9 years. A Nakuru court has made history by deciding that fathers in Kenya can take custody of children less than 9 years old. Justice Joel Ngugi, the resident judge, ruled that the tender years doctrine, while still compelling for deciding child custody, is no longer an immutable rule of law. The Domestic Relations Circuit Court of Jefferson County, Alabama granted sole custody of the couple's 2007-born kid to the mother and established specific visiting rights for the father upon the couple's divorce on November 20, 2010. Nonetheless, the couple fell in love again quickly after their divorce, and in 2013, they welcomed a second child into the world. In Consolion. Section 81 of the Children's Act No. 8 of 2001 Laws of Kenya, defines child custody to be so much of the parental rights and duties as relate to the possession of the child. Care and control means actual possession of a child, whether or not that possession is shared with one or more persons. Child custody is further divided into two types of custody. Legal custody. This refers to rights and responsibilities that are conferred on by a custody order. These include the responsibility to maintain a child. It is only a parent who has been given legal custody of a child that is liable to pay child maintenance. This is the reason why most court orders in matters involving children will first grant joint legal custody before proceeding to deal with actual custody of the child and maintenance. Actual custody of a child is synonymous with care and control of a child. It is the actual possession of a child whether or not the possession is shared with the other parent or any other person. Thus whoever the court gives actual custody of the child, is the person who will live with the child. Section 83 of the Children's Act sets out the following principles guiding the court in making a custody order. The court must consider the following: the conduct and wishes of the parent or guardian of the child, the ascertainable wishes of the relatives of the child, the ascertainable wishes of any foster parent, or any person who has had actual custody of the child and under whom the child has made his/her home in the last 3 years before the application to the court. The ascertainable wishes of the child. Whether the child has suffered any harm, or is likely to suffer any harm if the order is not made. The customs of the community to which the child belongs. The religious persuasions of the child. Whether a care order, or a supervision order, or a personal protection order, or an exclusion order has been made in relation to the child concerned and whether or not those orders remain in force. The circumstances of any sibling of the child concerned, and of any other children of the home, if any. The best interest of the child. Once the court considers all the above, it will then proceed to make a custody order. Many times a court is guided by official inquiry reports made by child services, who then decide whether or not to recommend either parent to have custody of their child. Child maintenance refers to the duties of parents to provide for the basic needs of the child. The basic needs are listed in Section 23 of the Children's Act as food, shelter, clothing, education, medical provision. Article 53, 1e of the Constitution provides that a child has the right to equal responsibility from both parents to maintain the child. On this basis, the Children's Court will take into account the above needs of the child and then split the needs equally between the parents by the consequent making of a maintenance order. Under Section 76, 3f of the Children's Act, the court is mandated to consider the financial ability of each parent to maintain the child. Where either parent violates a maintenance order, it is treated as contempt of court, and the violating parent risks jail term on the same. In conclusion, the best interest of the child is the first consideration when determining child custody or child support. Once parents factor this in, the likelihood of protracted court battles over child support and custody is much diminished.
Child custody and parental responsibility considerations often arise where parties are not married, after a divorce or the death of both parents to allow for the child's upbringing. In Kenya, a child has the right to parental care and protection, which is an equally shared responsibility of both parents to provide for the child, whether they are married to each other or not. Kindly remember to like, subscribe and share, for more educative videos daily.